Docks Marine opens 7 days a week from 8 to 5. Sales, rental, service, all in one place. It's at Docks Marine, 5803 Eichard Ridge Road.
I'm Ralph Mangum. This is the WHKY News, and it's time for our look back at some of the top crime stories that we had for you during the week of September 9th through September 13th. Let's get started. Robert Ford Dale Jr., 35-year-old Rocky Lee Dale, and 50-year-old Laurie Knight Stevens, all of the same address on Pax Hill Road in Morganton, have been arrested by Burke County Sheriff's officers. All three suspects were charged with felony counts of concealment of death and disturbing human remains. Robert Dale was also charged with a felony probation violation. On August 30th, the Sheriff's Office responded to the area of Corpening Bridge Road near the canoe access in reference to a death investigation. A group of individuals kayaking on Johns River said that they found human remains near the Corpening Bridge. Further investigation led to the execution of a search warrant at an address on Pax Hill Road. As a result of that search, charges were filed against all three suspects. Robert Dale was taken to the Burke County Jail under a $135,000 secured bond. Rocky Dale was jailed under no bond, and Stevens received a $75,000 secured bond. All three suspects were scheduled to appear in district court today. The investigation is ongoing. Additional charges are.
A Burke County resident is charged with a drug offense and probation violation counts in Catawba County. 25-year-old David Logan Keene of Roger Hill Road in Connolly Springs was arrested Thursday by Hickory police. He's charged with possession of methamphetamine, 2 counts of felony probation violation, injury to personal property, and failure to perform community service hours. Keene is on probation as a result of a conviction in Catawba County in February of 2022 for felony counts of obtaining property by false pretense and larceny of firearms. Following the arrest, Keene was incarcerated in the Catawba County Detention Facility under no bond. A district court date is scheduled for September 16th. 39-year-old Anwar Vanchus Powell of 2nd Street Place Southeast in Hickory was arrested Friday by Hickory police. He's charged with 3 counts of first-degree arson, felony larceny of a motor vehicle, and possession of a stolen motor vehicle. Powell was confined in the Catawba County Detention Facility without bond as he awaited a Monday district court date.
9-year-old Chastity Gardner Travis of Huffman Road in Lenoir was arrested by Lenoir police Sunday on felony counts of larceny greater than $1,000, possession with intent to manufacture, sell, or deliver a Schedule II controlled substance, maintaining a vehicle or dwelling for a controlled substance, possession of a controlled substance on penal institution property, and altering, destroying, or stealing evidence of criminal conduct. Travis was also charged with misdemeanor counts of simple possession of a Schedule VI controlled substance, possession of drug paraphernalia, and resisting, delaying, or obstructing a public officer. Travis was jailed in the Caldwell County Detention Center, where she was given secured bonds of $20,000 and $75,000 on the felony drug charges. However, she was held without bond on the charge of altering, destroying, or stealing evidence. Her only Caldwell County court date currently listed is a September 26th appearance on a paraphernalia charge. 40-year-old John Norman Brooks of Wilkesboro was arrested by Alexander County Sheriff's officers on August 24th. He was charged with felony solicitation of a child by computer and resisting a public officer. He was also charged with multiple traffic infractions. Brooks has been released under a secured bond of $50,000. He will appear in district court in Taylorsville on September 16th. In today's top stories, Mooresville police detectives are currently investigating a shooting late Sunday night that resulted in a fatality. At 11:14 p.m. Sunday, Mooresville police responded to a report involving gunshots at Meadowlark Glen Apartments. Officers arrived at the scene and found 20-year-old Clifton Cornelius Vandiver of Concord suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. The shooting appears to be the result of an altercation between Vandiver and other parties. Vandiver was transported to Novant Huntersville, where he passed away. Detectives are investigating the incident, interviewing witnesses, checking cameras in the area, and looking for additional evidence at the scene. More information will be released as the investigation continues. Certainly our condolences to Mr. Vandiver's family and loved ones.
The suspect in this case, 33-year-old Casey Charles Bentley of Lenoir, is free on bond after he requested that a bond be set at a hearing on Monday. The initial charge against Bentley was assault inflicting serious bodily injury. It was changed to murder after the victim passed away. The suspect was initially arrested on Labor Day and was placed in jail under a $75,000 bond. He was released on that bond amount, then taken into custody again and placed in jail under no bond. On September 2nd at approximately 1 p.m., the Alexander County 911 Communications Center received a call regarding an assault at Wittenberg Access. Deputies and first responders arrived at the scene to find the victim, 55-year-old Kenneth Young of Lenoir, with apparent head injuries. Young was transported to Fry Regional Medical Center, then to Baptist Hospital, where he passed away from injuries sustained in the reported assault. The Alexander County Sheriff's Office conducted an investigation into the assault. Several teenagers were at a gathering in Alexander County where alleged inappropriate comments were made from Young to Bentley's teenage daughter. Bentley came to pick up his daughter at the residence. At that time, Young was not present. Bentley later found Young at Wittenberg Access loading a boat. A verbal altercation occurred between Young and Bentley, which police say led to Bentley assaulting Young. Bentley was not at the scene when deputies responded. On Monday, Bentley requested bond. It was granted in the amount of $175,000. Stipulations of his release are that he have no contact with the victim's family and that he remain in the state of North Carolina. Reporting for WHKY News, I'm Rob Eastwood.
A student was found to be in possession of a firearm at an area high school at about 8:50 Monday morning. Statesville High School security personnel alerted the Statesville Police Department school resource officers after a 16-year-old student entering the school triggered the metal detector. Following standard protocol, a search of the student's backpack was conducted, resulting in the discovery of a loaded 9mm handgun. The firearm was seized and secured without incident, and no injuries or threats to the school's safety were reported. The Statesville Police Department, in conjunction with Iredell-Statesville Schools Administration, immediately launched an investigation. The student has been charged with felony possession of a firearm on educational property. The Lincoln County Sheriff's Office has issued a press release stating that Sheriff's Office personnel are aware of recent social media posts suggesting threats of school shootings. The posts name a large number of schools across multiple counties. The Sheriff's Office is thoroughly investigating the posts and coordinating closely with the Cleveland County Sheriff's Office and the Gaston County Police Department. To ensure safety, the Sheriff's Office will enhance its presence at local schools and handle the situation with the highest level of seriousness. 44-year-old Christopher David Buchanan of Poppy Lane in Statesville was arrested by Catawba County Sheriff's officers last Thursday on 2 counts apiece of trafficking in methamphetamine and felony possession of a Schedule II controlled substance. He was arrested after officers stopped a vehicle on Springs Road for a registration violation. During the investigation, a Sheriff's Office K-9 alerted to the presence of narcotics in the vehicle. A search resulted in the seizure of 78.9 grams of meth. An occupant of the vehicle, Christopher David Buchanan, was arrested and charged. He was incarcerated in the Catawba County Detention Facility under a $50,000 secured bond. A first appearance in district court was scheduled Tuesday. Jared Benjamin Brooks of Taylorsville was arrested by Alexander County Sheriff's deputies Saturday. He was served with a warrant out of Iredell County for felony assault with serious bodily injury. He has been released under a secured bond of $50,000. Brooks will appear in district court on September 30th in Statesville. 34-year-old Jonathan Lee Eckert of Claremont was taken into custody on Friday on charges out of Alexander County for larceny and injury to personal property. At last report, Eckert remained in the Alexander County Detention Center with bond listed at $30,000. He'll appear in Superior Court on September 16th in Taylorsville. Eckert also faces a string of traffic-related offenses in Alexander County that include driving while license revoked and hit and run. A district court appearance on the traffic charges was also scheduled for September 16th. The Hickory Police Department is investigating a shooting that occurred in the area of 3rd Avenue Southeast Monday. Hickory police responded to the 400 block of 3rd Avenue Southeast around 4:57 p.m. A victim suffering from a gunshot wound was found in a nearby area. The victim, 30-year-old Deontay Robinson of Hickory, was transported to a hospital in Charlotte, where he was listed in stable condition as of Tuesday. The initial investigation indicates that the shooting is an isolated incident that stems from an ongoing dispute between the persons involved. No suspects had been charged as of September 10th. The investigation is ongoing. Anyone with information regarding the incident should call the Hickory Police Department at 828-328-5551. 30-year-old Sean Curtis Fox of Hickory was sentenced to an active prison term of 6 to 23 years for 3 counts of second-degree sexual exploitation of a minor during Catawba County Superior Court on September 4th. The Honorable Peter Knight, Superior Court judge from Henderson County, imposed the sentence following Fox's guilty plea. He will be required to register as a sex offender for life. The offenses took place from November 2023 to April of this year and were reported to the Catawba County Sheriff's Office by a predatory watchdog organization. The organization turned over text messages, videos, and images tied to the defendant's solicitation of a 13-year-old female victim. Those were reviewed by sheriff's investigators. Investigators contacted Fox and interviewed him. During that interview, he gave consent to search his cell phone. Images of child pornography involving victims 1, 3, and 13 years of age were found. Fox already is a registered sex offender from a prior felony sex conviction in Caswell County, and he was released from prison in January 2023. Mark Higdon investigated the case for the Sheriff's Office. Assistant District Attorney Jessica Phillips handled the prosecution with aid from legal assistant Dia Crow.
We previously reported on the charges initially filed in this case. The case stems from the investigation into the death of Mark Dwayne Mitchell. That probe began on August 30th. These new charges were filed following a search at a residence here in Burke County. That search resulted in the discovery of firearms and methamphetamine. Upon the execution of a search warrant at an address on Pax Hill Road in Morganton, September 6th, numerous firearms, some of them confirmed stolen, were found. The firearms were found during a search of the home of 58-year-old Robert Ford Dale Jr. Detectives also discovered methamphetamine at the residence, and as a result, both Robert Ford Dale Jr. and 35-year-old Rocky Lee Dale were charged with the new crimes this past Monday. Robert Dale Jr. was charged with 5 felony counts of possession of a firearm by a felon, along with single felony counts of maintaining a vehicle, dwelling, or place for controlled substance, manufacture Schedule II controlled substance, possession of a weapon of mass destruction, and possession of a stolen firearm. Rocky Lee Dale was charged with 4 felony counts of possession of a firearm by a felon, 2 felony counts of possession of a stolen firearm, and 1 felony count of failure to register as a sex offender. Dale is a sex offender as a result of a conviction in July of 2010 in Yancey County for indecent liberties with a minor. Both suspects are being held in the Burke County Jail without bond as they await Thursday court appearances.
William Eugene Murphy of Buccaneer Way in Lenoir was arrested by Caldwell County Sheriff's officers Tuesday on 1 felony count of possession of methamphetamine. He was also charged with 5 felony probation violations. Murphy is on probation as he serves a 36-month suspended sentence following a May 2024 conviction for communicating threats and habitual misdemeanor assault. Following his arrest, Murphy was jailed in the Caldwell County Detention Center under a $107,000 secured bond. A first appearance in district court was scheduled Wednesday in Lenoir. 35-year-old Matthew Stephen Baird of Morganton has been charged in Alexander County with felony fraud, obtaining property by false pretenses. He was taken into custody Tuesday. Baird was jailed under a $60,000 secured bond. An appearance in Alexander County District Court is coming up on September 30th. And 62-year-old Danny Clifford Myers of Conover was arrested by Alexander County Sheriff's officers on August 27th. He's charged with felony soliciting a child by computer. Myers has been released from custody under a $50,000 secured bond. He'll appear in Alexander County District Court on September 23rd. The investigation is ongoing with more charges possible. Thanks to WACB's Rick Gilbert for those 2 Alexander County items. 42-year-old Aaron Doyle Murching, a former teacher and church youth leader in Burke County, will spend at least 31 years in prison after he pleaded guilty Tuesday to child sex crimes. Murching pleaded guilty to 3 counts of statutory sex offense with a child, 1 count of statutory sex offense with a 13 to 15-year-old, and 5 counts of indecent liberties with a minor. He was sentenced to spend 31 to 46 years in prison. In 2023, the Burke County Sheriff's Office investigated a cyber tip from the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force. Following the investigation, the initial warrants were issued against Murching for 3 counts of sexual exploitation of a child. Murching was arrested last August. Murching previously worked as a teacher at New Dimensions Charter School and as a youth leader at Thrive Church.
2 suspects were charged in this case, a detention officer and an inmate. According to police, the 2 individuals had a relationship. The detention officer reportedly gave the inmate a cell phone. Both suspects were charged and the detention officer was terminated. 30-year-old Jocelyn Marie Santiago of Dick Wilson Drive in Denver, North Carolina, and 28-year-old Christopher Roy Bell of Iron Station were arrested by Lincoln County Sheriff's officers. Santiago is charged with felony furnishing a controlled substance to an inmate, with that substance being a cell phone. Bell is charged with possession of a mobile device in a detention facility. On September 6th of this year, Lincoln County Sheriff's Office detention officers discovered that an inmate, Christopher Roy Bell, had possession of a mobile phone which he concealed inside his jail cell. While investigating the incident, detectives learned that a detention officer, Jocelyn Marie Santiago, provided the device to the inmate. A search of the device revealed that the 2 individuals had been in communication and developed a personal relationship. Both individuals were interviewed and admitted to their involvement. A Lincoln County Sheriff's detective charged Santiago with the felony count. She was also terminated from her employment with the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office Detention Center. Bond for Santiago was set at $2,500. A district court date is October 2nd. Bond for Bell was set at $25,000. He had previously been arrested on a fugitive warrant. No court date was listed for Bell on this charge. Reporting for WHKY News, I'm Rob Eastwood.
The Iredell County Sheriff's Office is seeking assistance in identifying the owner of a vehicle involved in 2 separate larcenies in northern Iredell County. The incidents occurred at about 9:15 a.m. on September 5th at 718 and 267 Mullis Road in Union Grove. A golf cart and a 2-axle landscape trailer were stolen. The suspect vehicle is described as a late 90s to early 2000s Cadillac Escalade with black wheels. Anyone who recognizes the vehicle or knows its owner should contact the Sheriff's Office at 704-878-3100 or Iredell Crime Stopper 704-662-1340. Tips may also be submitted anonymously through the Iredell Sheriff's app. 53-year-old William Bill Mudd Jr. of Lenoir and 37-year-old Tasha Allen of Granite Falls have been arrested by Longview Police for felony operating video gaming machines, along with misdemeanor counts of gambling, manufacturing, selling, and operating or possessing a slot machine and an electronic sweepstakes violation. Mudd was also charged with misdemeanor employing an unregistered armed security guard. 2 other individuals were charged with misdemeanors. Tuesday, Longview Police, along with local and state law enforcement partners, executed a search warrant at Longview Internet at 3765 U.S. Highway 70 Southwest in Hickory. The search was part of an investigation into illegal gambling at the establishment. Investigators seized more than 100 video gaming hard drives, video surveillance equipment, 1 firearm, and an undisclosed amount of cash. Mudd's bond was set at $15,000 secured. Allen was placed in the Catawba County Detention Facility under no bond. They were both scheduled to appear in court Wednesday. The investigation is continuing and further charges are anticipated. Anyone with additional information should call 828-327-2343. Callers can remain anonymous.
2 suspects were arrested in this case. They were both charged with felony drug counts. They were arrested following a traffic stop. Police reportedly found methamphetamine during their investigation. Both suspects are scheduled to appear in court later this month. 43-year-old Robert Jason Price and 35-year-old Jessica Nicole Taylor, both of Lenoir, were arrested Tuesday by Caldwell County Sheriff's officers. Both suspects are charged with trafficking methamphetamine and maintain a vehicle or dwelling for controlled substance. On Tuesday, patrol deputies with the Caldwell County Sheriff's Office seized a large quantity of methamphetamine during a vehicle stop in Caldwell County. Patrol deputies stopped a vehicle for displaying a fictitious registration plate. Deputies found Price and Taylor in that vehicle. During the stop, a canine officer alerted to the odor of narcotics coming from the vehicle. After the alert, deputies found approximately 52 grams of meth in the back seat of the vehicle. Deputies also found approximately 8 more grams of meth in Taylor's possession. The meth found by deputies has a street value of $9,000, according to North Carolina state drug guidelines. Price was incarcerated in the Caldwell County Detention Center under no bond. Taylor received a $50,000 bond. Both individuals are scheduled to appear in district court on September 25th. Reporting for WHKY News, I'm Rob Eastwood.
37-year-old Phoenicia Shannara Price of Northwest Wilson Street in Lenoir was arrested by Lenoir police Wednesday on felony counts of maintaining a vehicle or dwelling for a controlled substance, child abuse with severe bodily injury, child abuse with serious physical injury, and trafficking in heroin or opium. She was also charged with felony and misdemeanor counts of failure to appear. Price was jailed in the Caldwell County Detention Center with bond set at $51,500 secured. As of Thursday morning, Price remained in custody. An appearance in district court was scheduled for September 26th with a Superior Court date on October 15th, both in Lenoir. 31-year-old Sandy Marie Glass of West 28th Street in Newton was charged Wednesday by Hickory police with felony death by distribution. She also faces charges for first-degree trespassing, resisting a public officer, possession of methamphetamine, possession of a controlled substance on prison or jail premises, the sale or delivery of a Schedule II controlled substance, and voluntary manslaughter. Glass is accused of supplying the drugs that led to the overdose death of 30-year-old Crystal Carol McMillan. Ms. McMillan died in the Catawba County Detention Facility on July 10th of last year. An autopsy showed that she died from a combination of fentanyl and methamphetamine toxicity. Glass was also an inmate at that time. Glass is currently being held in the Catawba County Detention Facility under a total bond of $303,750. A district court appearance in Newton was scheduled yesterday, with another district court date coming up on September 23rd. Glass will also appear in Superior Court on October 24th. Baker of Maiden and 43-year-old Rebecca Nicole Huitron of Conover were both arrested by Maiden police on September 12th. Baker was charged with 4 counts of trafficking cocaine, 3 counts of possession of cocaine, and 4 counts of possession of a firearm by a felon, all felonies. Huitron was charged with felony possession of cocaine and misdemeanor possession of drug paraphernalia. Following the arrest, officers executed a search warrant on Baker's residence on East Main Street in Maiden. Baker was jailed in the Catawba County Detention Facility under a $750,000 secured bond. Huitron was jailed without bond in the Catawba County Detention Center. Baker was scheduled to appear in district court, and Huitron was scheduled to appear in Superior Court, both on September 13th in Newton. In addition to the Maiden Police Department, the Catawba County Sheriff's Office, the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation, and the United States Department of Homeland Security assisted in the investigation. 25-year-old Hunter Ridge Stiles of Brookshire Road in Lenoir was arrested by Caldwell County Sheriff's officers Thursday on 1 felony count of speeding to elude arrest. Stiles was placed in the Caldwell County Detention Center with bond set at $20,000 secured. No court date is currently listed. 31-year-old Amber Ann Duck of Morganton was arrested Tuesday by officers with the Morganton Department of Public Safety on 1 felony count of hit and run, along with misdemeanor counts of driving while impaired and reckless driving with wanton disregard. At 11:10 Tuesday night, officers responded to West Fleming Drive near Asheville Street after a homeowner reported that a man was screaming for help due to a broken leg. Officers found a white male lying on the side of West Fleming Drive after he had been struck by a vehicle. The victim was pushing his bicycle on the side of the road, walking toward traffic when he was hit. Officers then received a call from a gas station on West Fleming Drive regarding a woman driving a gold Honda CR-V SUV with a flat right tire and damage to the right passenger side. The store clerk said the vehicle appeared to have just struck something. The clerk said the female driver had just pulled back out of the parking lot. Officers in the area located the vehicle on Asheville Street. Upon further investigation, officers confirmed that vehicle parts found on West Fleming Drive matched the vehicle on Asheville Street. Amber Ann Duck was the driver of the SUV. There is no update on the victim's condition. The investigation is ongoing. Duck was arrested and given a secured bond of $10,000. She is not currently listed as an inmate. A district court date was scheduled for September 12th in Morganton.
36-year-old Jacob Michael Baker of Nebo was arrested September 8th by Burke County Sheriff's officers. He's charged with felony flee to elude arrest with a motor vehicle, misdemeanor resisting a public officer, and traffic offenses. Baker was arrested shortly after 2 p.m. on Sunday, September 8th at an address on Dysertsville Road. He was incarcerated following the arrest under a 48-hour hold. A district court date is scheduled for September 30th.
This has been our weekly recap of a few of the crime stories we had for you during the last week. That's the week of September 9th through the 13th. Our weekly recap is posted every Saturday at WHKY.com and on our YouTube channel. That's where you'll also find our top stories, the crime report, local sports, and community focus. Thank you for joining us.